Welcome back to the 10-year anniversary Octo Redesign series. Today we're going to cover versions 3 through 5 of the new Octothorpe. With versions 3 through 5, we focused mainly on the putter pocket and a structured bottom. I know a lot of you are going to hear structured bottom and think, well, that's something that you have basically railed against for the entirety of the existence of Pound. And that's completely true. But if a structured bottom is going to serve the stability of the bag better, and we can have a structured bottom that doesn't sacrifice any of the comfort of the original Octo, which is by far one of the best features of that bag, then it's an idea that I'm willing to pursue. I think it's really important as a designer and as a company to be willing to take our preconceptions and throw them out the window and be willing to entertain ideas that we thought weren't going to work if they are in the pursuit of something greater. And so we're going to play around with it and see what happens. Version 3, let's get into it. Version 3, we made the variable height putter pocket deeper so that the lid could close with 5 putters in still. The adjustability happens at the top of the ladder lock buckle, just like it does on the Rufus putter pocket. All you have to do is pull that. You can then stow the web down in there, and then that lifts the height of the pocket up. One of the cool things that I wanted to show you in the bottom of this pocket, there's a piece of foam contained in the bottom of this pocket. And what that piece of foam does is it acts as like a dumbwaiter. When you pull the compression web, the foam comes up in the pocket as the sides of the pocket scrunch up and forms a structured bottom for this putter pocket. Well, why was that necessary? The reason that was necessary is because we wanted to accommodate 5 putters in the putter pocket. And with the Rufus style construction putter pocket, the way that that's constructed is any more than 4 and the putters get a little wonky and a little compressed in that pocket. So we've added that structure and that dumbwaiter quality, which we're pretty stoked on and works pretty well. The other nice little detail that we added to the bag was a garage over the zipper slider and cord for the hydration sleeve or multi-use pocket on the back here. It wasn't entirely necessary. We weren't feeling the slider by any means on version 2, but aesthetically it's a little nicer, and having it tucked away means that you definitely won't be able to feel it. The one thing that we did want to improve upon a little bit as far as the putter pocket goes is that it was a little wide, so the putters are a little bit loose side to side, and I wasn't in love with how boxy it looks. I think a little tapering would aesthetically do the bag a bit of a service, and then it would also reduce the sort of sloppiness side to side with these. So let me show you version 4. Here's version 4. Version 4, we were playing around with the putter pocket in terms of not only tapering it, this one is tapered in about 1/2 of an inch from side to side, so the putters aren't sloppy, but we were also playing around with the idea of having a cell phone rangefinder mini pocket. Ultimately, it did not succeed. The upper detail pockets, honestly, are perfect rangefinder pockets. Do we call them that? No. But is that what they are perfect for? Yes. The other thing that's perfect for a rangefinder is that inside both sides now, you'll find these elastic topped utility pockets. Before we had mini golf pencil slots and Sharpie slots next to just the elastic for umbrella or disc retriever. And we've just updated that because no one uses golf pencils anymore. No one keeps a paper scorecard anymore. And it's nice to have an extra pocket. The elastic is still there for the umbrella or retriever. It sits slightly over this pocket, but there's still access to the pocket, so we'll see what happens with that. That is pretty much all we worked on with version 4. Now I'm going to show you version 5. This is version 5. Version 5 is kind of the best of all worlds as far as the putter pocket's concerned. We've got more taper, which aesthetically looks a lot nicer, I think. The other sort of unintended consequence of that taper was that the sides of the bag actually got higher. The height of the bag itself remained exactly the same as the original Octo, But because we tapered in that height, what's called the seam allowance, or basically the distance around the entire body panel, remained unchanged. But because that putter pocket got skinnier, it actually created more space for the sides, which is kind of fun. It made the detail pockets on the side just a little bit bigger, which is kind of cool. Never hurts to have a little more space in those. And yeah, we're really happy with it. The other nice thing that from version 4 to 5 is that we went back to these taller tubes on the side, so great for Leatherman and full-size Sharpies. The one thing I'm not thrilled about, there's not quite enough space in the top of these pockets, so getting at the phone isn't super easy. It's a little clunky, and everything's just a little bit tight, so we'll probably end up adding a little bit of volume to those pockets. Other than that, we didn't do a whole lot to these bags, except the structured bottom. So I'm going to touch on the structured bottom now. I've got 3 different versions. So this is what the foam in the bottom of version 3 looked like. Basically just a box with rounded corners. The issue was that it definitely dug into the lower back. You could feel the whole bag. It was just kind of stiff and pressed into the lower back. So we thought, well, why don't we just try a cutout in that lower back? We tried the cutout. The cutout, all that did was intensify the corners sort of hitting you in the hips and the love handles. So that wasn't a great solution either. So we thought, okay, well, let's go the exact opposite of that and see if that'll work. So what we did is we went with more of a convex shape to the bottom. This was a lot better in terms of taking the corners and pushing them away from the body. But again, the sort of center section of the framing in the bottom still dug into the lower back. So we're going to have to keep figuring out the structured bottom. It may not work out. It may not even be necessary, honestly, in terms of the stability of the bag. But we're going to keep pushing and see what happens in the next versions. Thanks for watching.